3 years ago under conditions very similar to this. Good stat from the 100 though. 11 freshmen in the field out of 24 athletes. 5 of them in the final, most ever. 5 out of the 8 freshmen as we now look at Noah Williams, the sophomore from LSU, who's number 2 in the world this year in the 400 meters.
And social media handle International Noah getting a lot of publicity this season, but he has not been beat, guys, in the 400 meters all season long. That includes indoors and outdoors. They receive Bryce Dedmon from Texas A&M, who I think will, make this final and be Noah Williams' maybe biggest rival this weekend. But Noah Williams, imagine that. One time around, guys, you're undefeated in the 400 meters this season. He'll be the man to beat. There we see on the inside, want to throw him in there, Johnny Blockberger. He got this season started at the Jim Click Invitational, 44.71 as a freshman. He led the nation. He beat Bryce Dedmon earlier this season.
By the way, this is a rematch of the SEC Championship final between Noah Williams and Bryce Dedmon. Lane 9 did not have an athlete show up. Ja'Cory Patterson of Virginia Tech did not make it to the starting block. So in this first semifinal of 3, with the first 2 finishers qualifying through to Friday's final, we have a rematch of a great race that we had at Texas A&M about a month ago between Noah Williams in 6 and Bryce Dedmon in lane 7. Pretty even so far, with Dedmon making a move on the backstretch. Williams kind of hanging back.
Well, Noah Williams said he likes to push that first 80 meters and then get into a comfortable stride on the back straight, but Bryce Dedmon really put some pressure on him. I think Noah wasn't able to relax maybe like he wanted to.
Dedmon at a bit of a disadvantage because he can't see Williams. Williams with the advantage because he can see Dedmon. Tyler Johnson making a race out of it there for Ohio State and really pressing Dedmon for that second spot. Now he's past him, and Johnson wins the heat with Williams second, so technically the first loss for Noah Williams this year.
Michael Johnson said prelims don't count.
But Dedmon finishing 3rd, not an automatic qualifier, so at 45.48 he has to hope that that time holds up to advance him to Friday's final. Johnny Blockberger 4th at 46.40.
Well, Bryce Dedmon really pushed the first 200 meters. He put a lot of pressure on Noah Williams and made Noah work in that 3rd 100, but it was Tyler Johnson on the outside, the Big Ten champion, who held firm there. I think this was a little faster than all of these guys, maybe a little more work than all of these guys wanted to put in. We've seen Noah Williams run faster than that, a little more relaxed, and maybe the weather's affecting some of these LSU athletes just a little bit.
Well, we've seen it over the years, the Southern athletes having a tough time when we come up here to Oregon, and the conditions are like this. Johnson winning the heat and automatically qualifying along with Noah Williams. Bryce Dedmon at 45.48. He's got to watch these next 2 semifinal heats and hope that that time is one of the 3 fastest non-automatic qualifying times. Either way, he's going to end up with a crummy lane draw, but I'm sure that Coach Pat will be happy to see him in the final if he can get there. He is a senior as we get ready now for the second semifinal heat. And this is Randolph Ross, son of Dwayne Ross at North Carolina A&T, just a sophomore.
Well, Dwayne Ross, the head coach at North Carolina A&T, has just been tremendous in putting this program together. The program is so popular, he's having to turn athletes away, but Dwayne Ross, he was a hurdler, while Randolph Ross, great outstanding 400-meter runner. This guy could certainly factor into the finals. Well, North Carolina A&T, they have a fantastic 4x400-meter relay team as well. Randolph has run in the 4x1, so he is plenty warmed up as we get a look at the Allison in lane 4 from Alabama. He was injured late part of the season, managed to score and get in the finals at the SEC meet, so he's been running better. And Jonathan Jones from Texas in lane 6, the sophomore from Barbados, has been running well also.
It's Jonathan Jones for the Longhorns. for the second of 3 semifinal heats in the 400 meters. And Randolph Ross moving nicely through that first turn and almost making up the stagger on Ryan Willie of Florida to his outside.
Well, I think Randolph Ross has seen the times in the last heat, and he really looked like he wanted to push here early on.
Jonathan Jones trying to keep pace with him, as is Michael Bluth. Coming into the final straightaway, it is Randolph Ross. Ryan Willie trying to make a move to get into second. Jonathan Jones of Texas trying to hang on. He's not going to be able to do it. Ryan Willie is going to get second, but it's an easy run. Ooh, maybe I spoke too soon. And down in lane 3, Sean Bailey of UTEP made a really strong finish, but didn't quite get there. Ryan Willie did hang on to that second automatic qualifying position. Bailey of UTEP getting third by 100th of a second. So Ross looking pretty easy and very aggressive in this second semifinal.
Well, he put the pressure on this field from the very first step. You get a lead like that at the 200 meters and then just hold it all the way to the end. That's just some really smart running. Not his best run of the year, but he knows how to pressure the rest of this field. And Ryan Willie, little Ryan Willie, the freshman on the outside, brings it all the way through the line. Yeah, he's definitely ahead of the UTEP athlete down there in lane 3.
So your automatic qualifiers both running excellent times. Ross and Willie automatically going through. Sean Bailey at 45.74. He's got one more semifinal heat to go through, and 45.78 is the bubble. That's Michael Bluth. So you got to run faster than that if you're going to finish third or fourth in this third and final heat. You can see the sun on the backstretch side of Hayward Field now. But still lots of clouds in the sky as we look at Trevor Stewart, the senior for North Carolina A&T, in this third semifinal heat of the 400.
He was second back in 2019, and that's really when he came onto our radar. We got to see him in the open 400, but also the 4x400 meters, and he does such a great job in that event. If he's behind, he is a fantastic chaser. Young man from Virginia.
Anchors their great 4x400 meter relay as we transition down into lane 2. This is Kentucky junior Dwight St. Hilaire.
Cruddy lane draw for St. Hilaire, but he's already run one race today, 4x100 meters. He anchored that team, and believe it,
who is in this heat running in lane number 6. He's already seen his teammate Randolph Ross win his heat and qualify through to Friday's final.
And Carol Lewis made a comment. She said, you know, talk about some other teams beside the SEC. But sorry, Carol, there's a lot of speed in the SEC. We see Elijah Godwin there from Georgia and Christopher Bailey representing the SEC as well from Tennessee.
7.
So there is the other Dwight St. Hilaire, going to start down in lane 2. The only advantage in that he can see everybody else in the race as it lays out. Christopher Bailey, there he is from Tennessee. So 3 SEC runners in this third and final semifinal heat. And they're having them stand up.
Well, they stood those athletes up because they were putting together a rhythmic clap for one of the javelin throwers, and there weren't that many people clapping, but if there's some rhythmic clapping going on here around that start-finish line, it could be an issue for some of these races.
So they reset. It's got to be a little cool down there at the starting line. That part of the track is not in the sun at this time of day. And there is a little bit of a breeze, but at least the rain has stopped. There's Dwight St. Hilaire of Kentucky, the senior, or the junior, I should say, from Trinidad and Tobago. You want to finish first or second to book your ticket to Friday's final. Trevor Stewart out nicely there for North Carolina A&T in lane number 6. Elijah Godwin pushing hard that first 200 meters.
That's what Godwin is certainly known for. He's going to run as hard as he can for as long as he can, as we see Stewart make his patented comeback from behind with 150 meters to go.
Jonathan Sawyer of Southeastern Louisiana was in it, but no longer. Stewart now taking control of the finishing stretch. Godwin trying to hang on for second, but it looks like Dwight St. Hilaire is going to overhaul him and get that second automatic qualifying position. Third finisher, Wayne Lawrence, Jr. of Iowa, 45:36. The winning time for Trevor Stewart, making it look easy. St. Hilaire getting second, and Lawrence Jr. is not going to run fast enough to qualify through on time.
Well, Trevor Stewart, it looked like he might have been in last position at the 200-meter mark, but he's so confident in his finish. He paces that race out so well, and a guy who knows his pace is a good 400-meter runner. But then he just can go into that next gear with about 150 meters to go, but he's got a very efficient stride. He begins to tire, but he continues to swing his arms. But nice running on the inside as well as a bad lane draw for Dwight St. Hilaire. He gets through to the finals as well.
St. Hilaire makes the best of it and finishes second to automatically qualify. None of the times after second place are fast enough to advance. So there are your advancers into Friday's final. Bryce Dedman, the scene from A&M, does get through. Should be a very competitive 400 on Friday.